Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Mornings with Loretta. And let me just say it, honey. Women go through so many unique issues that involve menopause, aging gracefully, hopefully, those hormones and overall wellness. So joining us today, one of my faves, Dr. Contessa Metcalfe, is here again. Yes, you know her from Bravo's Married to Medicine, and she is teaming up with Secret, one of our favorite brands, to share timely tips. And she's like, I don't know if you're a youngin' or if you're going through what I'm going through. I'm like, honey, I'm probably leading the way. So welcome to Loretta.
Well, hello, and good seeing you again. And I feel exactly the same way about you. So thank you for having me.
You're awesome. So let's just jump in. So women go through so many challenges in our lifetime. So what is the key to empowering women as we navigate these changes that, our mom didn't tell us about or our grandmother? So we're like trying to figure it all out by ourselves.
That's right. Facts, all facts. Yes. Women do go through so many hormonal changes, and we are so comfortable talking about things like pregnancy. But when it comes to menopause and perimenopause, the symptoms, frankly, take most of us by surprise. And so we have to start talking about this stage because we don't talk about it nearly enough. And it can make us feel unprepared for the hot flashes and shifts in body odor. But empowerment really starts with awareness. You have to know what to expect and really feel supported. And that's why I'm partnering with Secret. They understand how important it is to provide women with the tools and the confidence we need to navigate these changes and feel our absolute very best every single day.
Every single day in more ways than just one. We just know it because our mothers gave it to us, for deodorant, take a bath, wipe up. You got to do your deodorant. But Secret is so much more. They're using technology and clinical information to really help us. So how can women meet some of these challenges that we talked about? Not only aging gracefully, but the hormones we talked about. And then there's menopause. Oh,
yes.
Can
yes,
we just
for
talk?
sure. And it's really just about preparation and understanding, right? And one proven solution is using Secret Clinical Antiperspirant and Secret Whole Body Deodorant together. This dynamic duo is specifically designed to manage the symptoms that many women face during these hormonal changes, like the excessive sweating and the body odor. And when you use them at night, this regimen provides up to 10 hours of overnight dry feel, which means fewer interruptions from night sweats and even less reliance on things like fans. And it's just a simple step that can help women feel way more confident and more comfortable as a part of their nightly routine.
So is there really anything we can do about these night sweats and then just having these private summers, even in the winter time?
Yes, absolutely. So you're right. You're absolutely right. And it just becomes our new normal, right? So hormonal changes really can affect our overall wellness, but they cause these night sweats and sleep disruptions and even shifts in body odor. So just developing a nightly routine can make a real difference. One tip that may surprise you, Miss Loretta, is that people should use their antiperspirant, and it's more effective actually at night. So we recommend starting your sweat and odor protection before bed. And I love that Secret Clinical Antiperspirant and Whole Body Deodorant is designed to work overnight, offering that 10 hours of dryness. And that can actually mean a more restful night's sleep. And so you start your routine in the evening, and it can help you wake up feeling dry, comfortable, and empowered for your day.
You know what? That makes sense. I never thought about it, but to do it at night so you're not waking up and having a whole lot of more sweat to wash off and odor if it's not working. So, okay, thank you, Secret. That's a great tip to use it at night and when you shower in the morning. So what are some of the challenges that impact wellness though, right? Because we feel sluggish and then sometimes we have too much energy and we can't sleep. So help us with that to manage the challenges.
Yeah, and you said something about that shower because this kind of prevents you from having to take that night shower and then another one in the morning, which is something only us who are going through these hormonal changes can understand. But we actually face a range of those physical and also emotional changes during these transitional stages of life. But everyone's experience is actually different. So it's really finding out what works for you. So you can talk to a healthcare provider like me who understands the stage, or even building and leaning on each other, our support systems. But the key is recognizing that these changes are indeed normal and manageable. And that is why Secret developed products like its clinical antiperspirant and whole body deodorant. This dynamic duo allows you to feel more in control and more confident as you navigate all these changes that comes your way.
So because you are one of the best in the game when it comes to hormonal changes for women and just women's health, now that you're entering that season where this makes sense to you and not just medical book practice sense or in your office, and it's affecting you personally now. So do you have any other advice for us to manage these other issues that affect women?
And you're actually right. When you are going through something, you can speak more intelligently about it. And it's not just you stating facts, right? You can say, this is what I do. Like, one thing that I actually do is I use the Secret clinical antiperspirant under my arms, right? Because it's regulated for powerful underarm sweat protection. But then I use that Secret whole body deodorant outside of my underarms, on my chest, on my back, inner thighs, my private areas, because together they actually help contact all that odor causing bacteria. They target it, and then they just manage sweat in those areas where it shows up the most during perimenopause and menopause. So underarms for the deodorant, and then the whole body deodorant goes everywhere else.
Everywhere, a whole body deodorant. Where was it, when my mother was here, so she could have prepared me and told me about it. So I know you have a lot of other things going on, because not only are you a medical professional, but you are an entrepreneur, you are in real estate. So so when we've gone through these changes hormonally and menopause, stress is really a factor for me. It's like, I just go off. It's like, I say whatever comes to my mind. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I feel more freedom. Is that part of menopause where you just don't have a filter?
Well, women do say that. We talk about those hormonal changes because, of course, estrogen, progesterone, the different hormones that affect us during this time period, they regulate different parts, different things. And so, absolutely. And so that is why it's important to talk to your healthcare provider about these things, because a lot of times you don't have to navigate these symptoms alone, but also talking about them, because we used to never talk about this. It was taboo. And so you said your mom, but my mom never really discussed it, right? So I just saw her doing things like using fans, and actually at night, wearing less and less and less, progressively less clothes. And I didn't understand why, but of course now going through it, I can totally understand what she was going through. And so having these tools and actually resources that Secret is providing to us, it allows us to not feel like, okay, there's nothing we can do about this. We can navigate this. This is manageable. We can deal with it. We'll survive.
We'll survive. Oh my goodness, my time with you just goes too fast. I know somebody speeds up the time. They are speeding up the clock. So where can we go for more information?
Well, for more information about not just surviving, but thriving during life's transitions, go to secret.com.
And that is very easy. Secret.com. Dr. Contessa, thank you so much for being our guest on Mornings with Loretta. It's always a joy and a delight to have you on, because you do enlighten us. You definitely enlighten us every time. So thank you so much for all you do for us women out here in this world.
Thank you. And the pleasure is all mine. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I'm telling you, Dr. Metcalfe, I love it when she comes on. And like I said, she's a practicing physician and a TV personality. She did not give up her medical practice to be on TV, on Bravo's Married to Medicine. She is actively practicing medicine every day. And she has a restaurant in Atlanta. She is a real estate entrepreneur. But we have another segment coming up for you, one that I'm super excited. Just doing research on this topic of water quality, I learned that there is such a thing as a water sommelier. Yes, and his name is Mike Sale, and he's here for the very first time on Mornings with Loretta. Everybody, welcome to Mornings with Loretta, Mike Sale. Good morning.
Good morning, Loretta. Thanks for having me.
I've been saying I never knew there was a thing. Can you tell me exactly what is a water sommelier?
I'd be so happy to. The water sommelier is somebody with a really deep understanding of the complexity of water and the different inputs that ultimately are going to contribute to the taste of water. And so we can work with people to talk about things to add or remove or look for to get them a water that is exactly what they want to drink. And then we can even work to make water optimized for cooking or making that perfect cup of coffee or tea.
More time, more time. So what is ideal water, right? We talk about water quality, the health benefits of it, and it plays a critical role in the proper functioning of our bodies because our body is so much, what is the percentage, 75% or 80% water? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So ideal water from a taste perspective is hard because it varies based on individual preferences, what you grew up with. But when we talk about ideal water from a health perspective, you're absolutely right. There are contaminants that universally we just want to get out of the water for the fear of those long-term health effects, things like nitrates, lead, PFAS, microplastics. A really effective way to do this is with a filtration technology called reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis uses a really fine membrane to trap and remove virtually all contaminants from water. And so a best-in-class example of this is the Delta Clarify tankless reverse osmosis system. It's certified to remove over 90 contaminants that can be found in tap water. And it's a tankless model, so it sits below your sink and takes up 60% less space than a traditional tanked model while giving you a continuous flow of water at a more efficient rate. This system has two main filters, and these get changed every 2 years, and they take really less than a minute to swap in and out.
Okay. Um, I know this subject is this deep in water is new for me. So am I understanding that the water tank that can give me a better quality of water can fit underneath my sink? Is that what you're
That's
telling
right.
me?
That's right. Yeah, it uses pumps to push the water through the membrane, so it fits in a smaller box, and that way it can kind of run a little bit more out of sight, out of mind for you.
Okay, so how should I check the water quality? Because I live in an area we're known for having the most amazing water in Memphis, Tennessee. Well, I live in the suburbs outside of that. So we're told we have the best water. So should we also be checking our water quality? And if so, how should we?
I think from my sommelier perspective, I'd love everybody to get a closer relationship with their water. In a municipality like yours, you can actually go and pull the water quality report from your local water treatment center, and they'll show you what's coming into the water, where it's sourced from, and how they treat it before it gets to you. If you're in the area but you're on a well, we do encourage more regular testing there. The EPA is going to recommend you do that about once a year, and so using that report can help you understand kind of what's in the baseline, and then ultimately what maybe you weren't aware of that's in that water that you might want to treat differently.
Okay, let me ask you. So in my home,
Mhm.
I feel like I have really good clean water. How would I know if I didn't have really good clean water? Is that something you can just visually see? Because I see clear water. Could it be that it's not the quality that I think it is? And how would I know other than checking
That is the
the?
hardest. It is so hard because as humans, we look and we see that clear glass of water and we say it's great. And the reality is it may be just fine, and it may have things in there that you can't see, you can't smell, and you would either need a specific test or just the data to see that. If you actually go to deltafaucet.com/clean water, there's a tool on there where you can look up by your zip code and your provider, and you can see a full list of what is actually in the water. So that'd be the first place I'd suggest to start. And then based on what you see on that list, you can make some decisions going forward.
Oh, wow. So what if we are seeing something in our water? Is it the water filtration, or is it our water coming from the ground? I'm telling you, when I heard you were coming, I'm like, oh, I got all these questions for Mike, but I'm gonna try to keep it simple because I know I only have so much time and I don't know enough to really, so you can really advise me. But where is the dirtiness coming from? If there's dirt or some kind of microscopic thing in my water that I can't see.
Yeah, I could do this all day with you. So let's dig into it. There's a few ways, and the most primary one would be the source water, right? Depending on if it's pulling from a river or an aquifer, things can get into there. The water treatment facility is going to put a level of treatment to the water to try to remove that. But there are certain things, PFAS is one we talk about lately, that can sometimes not be removed from this process. But also, depending on the age of your home, some people may have aging pipes that could introduce things into the product. So there are, unfortunately, a pretty complicated set of variables that can influence the water despite the best of intentions along the path.
Okay, you say you could do this all day, but I know you really can't because you have other people to go and inform so we can all have a better quality of water, which leads to a better quality of life. So you're actually not only a water sommelier, you're certified. So you're like at the top of the food chain for being a water sommelier, a term I just figured out. So what is the favorite thing about what you do other than making sure that all of us are drinking quality healthy water, because it can impact us mentally and physically if that water is has toxins in it or is not as great a quality. So how did you prepare for that? I'm just so curious about that.
Yeah, there's a program that I went through that had a series of kind of classwork and tests, and you asked about what gets me excited, and I believe fundamentally everybody deserves and needs that kind of baseline clean water, and then I get really excited about what do we want to put back in now. We could put minerals back in that add to the taste. We can do things that are healthful for our body. Again, we can kind of optimize for that perfect cup of coffee. This is what gets me really excited. Once we've taken out the things that are bad and we don't want in our body, we can be a lot more intentional about kind of designing what we want to put into our body.
Which leaves this question, and this question, and I only have one more because I know you really do have to go. So I was reading in your my research on you, there is something about that could be a contaminant like a PFAS and microplastics. Can you talk about that? Because can it be available and the water is clear? Can those contaminants be there and the water is clear?
Yeah, unfortunately, those are both things we don't see. PFAS is the simpler term would be forever chemicals. And these are things that can come off of production of certain products and plants. And unfortunately, when they get in the water, they're very hard to get out. And so the science is still evolving on kind of what that may mean to our bodies. But generally, something like reverse osmosis is a good prevention to get it out. And similarly, microplastics are something we're not going to see, we're not going to taste.
But they can have overall, they can potentially have a bad complications for us in our health and our wellness, perhaps?
Yeah, I think that's right. And there's some really good science on things like lead. We know lead at a certain level, very bad. And then we're really kind of working through some of the science on some of these other more new to our awareness contaminants like PFAS and microplastics. So reverse osmosis becomes a really nice preventative measure of not really waiting for the science to catch up and tell us what the levels are.
Well, I'm just really glad that you're here for so many reasons, and definitely because now you've told us, or you've made us aware of a water treatment and a purification method that we can actually do in our homes and place it under our sink. And what was the name of it again?
The system's the Delta Clarify Tankless Reverse Osmosis. And again, to learn more about either that system or your local water, deltafaucet.com/clean water.
That was my last question. You already answered it. You are good at this, Mike. You're reading my mind. Anyway, thank you so much for being our guest this morning on Mornings with Loretta. I really appreciate your time and your expertise.
I'm so grateful for your questions and giving me the time. Thank you.
Okay, and if you are a father, happy Father's Day. If not, tell your dad happy Father's Day or say it for us. Thank you so much, Mike. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. I'm telling you, that's what I love about this show and about you all. No matter the topic, you have the engagement, and we're all learning something, right? We're more informed and can make informed decisions about the water quality, and we can know what to look for in water quality. And a filtration system is really, really important. I know we have really good water, but I do have a filtration system. So I'm going to look at the Delta one that he talked about. So Mike Sell is the director of Home Water Systems Innovation Lab at the Delta Faucet Company, which he mentioned, and he's a certified water sommelier. I just love it. He's trained to taste, evaluate, and educate on the qualities of water from around the world. And he provided us with some commentary about water quality and filtration. So I just feel more smarter. I'm just going to go out today and just show how much more smarter I am for that conversation. Of course, my conversation with Dr. Contessa on women's health and the wonderful benefits of deodorant, right, by Secret. And then, we had a great show yesterday with Alexa talking about women's health and fitness and, getting these bodies right and healthier for the summer. So I'm just so excited to bring this kind of information to you all. In addition to, we love entertainment. We love that kind of thing. So I just want to say thank you all so much for joining me and following me. And also my new book is out. This is the approved copy. So I approved it and should be uploaded on all the places. And we'll talk more about that, but I'm super excited about Live Like You Believe. So in closing, think positive, dream big old dreams, help someone along the way. And now we're going to add Live Like You Believe. And guess what? I'll see you soon, everybody. Goodbye for now. And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Bye for now.